Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the People's Choice Podcast, episode 30. I'm here with a special guest. I know a lot of my viewers, my peeps out here, you guys have been asking me, about Bluer Futures or, hey, what's that Bluer Futures stuff that you put in your videos? Well, I'm talking to the man himself, the founder, the CEO, Collin. How you doing,
Brainchild, if
brother?
you will, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, man. I'm
all
doing
that.
good, man. I'm out here. You know what I mean? It's an adjustment, learning to move and act like a CEO and act like a founder and a brainchild of a international operation. But it's something that I'm definitely cool with, and something that is giving me a lot of humbleness, if you will, a little big slice of humble pie. Talking to people and dealing with people, people can be difficult in these days and these times. And
Amen.
coming from where I come from, it's definitely difficult to talk to some people. But moving like a CEO is something that you got to do if you're gonna do this, and I'm trying to do it, man.
Amen to that, bro. I understand 100% because like me and you hit it off really well because we're just cool as fuck, to be honest. And I also
I
want
hate
you
to
to
be the one
feel.
to tell you, but yeah,
I know, right? And I want you to feel comfortable on the show, man. There's no restraints. You don't have to minimize cursing or anything. Just
yeah. You see me hit
100%
my
yourself.
vape, the
Yeah, I would
usual.
say hit the vape.
I ain't gonna hide who I am, bro.
I've had people smoke blunts before during my interviews, so you're all
Jealous
good.
of those people, but I'm trying to do the thing, you know what I mean? So I gotta move right. So
That's right, man.
yes,
So
sir.
let's talk a little bit about you, man, before we get into the whole Bluer Futures. So where was you born and what was it like
Man,
growing
you
up?
know what? It's so crazy that you say that because I hate that shit. You know what I mean? I'm not. It's nothing. It's nothing against people that love themselves. I do love myself. Don't get that twisted. But there's nothing I hate more than talking about where I come from, because I feel like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're all, you scrape your knee, we all bleed in the same color. So, but yeah, I
Nice.
come from Deep River, North Carolina. It's
Okay.
just north of Sanford, just south of Raleigh, right near Sharon Harris Power Plant. So, the nuclear power plant probably had a little influence on the brain activity. But I'm not going to get into the
Most
conspiracies
definitely.
about it. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It's grimy, man. Sanford is grimy. It's a place where a lot of people go to fail, and it's a lot of places in Sanford and the surrounding areas where people fall apart and the community doesn't support itself. So I think that's what launched me into my ambitions, and that we could talk about that at a later time in the interview. But it's a place where you either succeed or you fail, and it's a black and white area. There's no gray. There's no just living, unless you're one of those NPC people. You know what I mean? The non-playable characters that just kind of float through life and make it work. You know what I mean? I refuse to be that. So
I understand that completely, man.
yes,
And
sir. Yes, sir.
so you born and raised in Sanford. Like you said, there's no gray. It's either you're
Yeah,
going to fail
yeah,
or you're going to succeed.
yeah.
How did you feel like, or I should say, how you feel like, what separated you from getting away from that?
Well, I think that more than anything, and big shout out to the people that were there on the outskirts. I was an outlier, man. I was never in the in crowd. I tried to be the dude who plays sports. I tried to be the dude who was cool, and I just didn't have enough money or politics behind me to make that happen. And unfortunately, that's what makes or breaks you in that area. But I think there's a very special place for the outliers, and I think that a lot of people in small towns can kind of resonate with them. But it's like when you're on the outskirts of it and you're kind of watching everybody move, you kind of see how people move, and then you have to understand. Either you understand how people move and you decide how you're going to move, or you fall in that pit of jealousy and upsetness and rage and conflict, like, oh, I want to be there but I'm not there, you know what I mean? And it's either that, or you recognize yourself as one of those people who's on the outskirts. I mean, I'm a white dude, bro. I am. I mean, I got 6% black in me if we want to go to ancestry DNA, but I mean, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Ancestry.
And where I, yeah, shout out to Ancestry for keeping it real. But if it's really going to be, you know, where I come from, it's a town of minorities. It's a town where the minorities actually are the majority. And you have those rich white people, those preppy white people who I tried to fit in because I thought that that's how you had to roll. And it's really like they kind of treat the high schools like a prison mentality, in the sense of like the segregation is still there. It's still the South. It's still sad to see it, but there's people that still to this day, I guarantee you, in the high schools I grew up in, are racist as can be. And you see it day in and day out. And I kind of got along with everybody who was on that outskirt. You know what I mean? I wasn't on the in crowd, but I got along with everybody who was on the edge and thought that they weren't good enough. And I thought the same thing. I kind of felt like I was sitting outside of that and watched those people move. That I hate to be the one to tell you, man, but the people who go through pain and go through struggle and go through trial and are on that outskirts, those are the people that are successful. It's not the people in the middle that everything's kosher. You know what I mean? Those people don't succeed because they've got everything in their lap. And I didn't have anything in my lap, dog. I had parents that were very, very young when they had me. My mom had just turned 17 when I was born. She was, you know, 6 days out from turning 17, and I was born. And my dad had a full ride scholarship to Liberty University for baseball and was going to the Arizona Diamondbacks training camp. So it was a very conflicted set of, you know, ideals from the start. You know what I mean? I kind of had the down bad virus from the start. You know what I mean? But it's the thing that separated me from that is realizing that you don't have to fall into that. You don't have to fall into the center. You don't have to fall into the outskirts where you just are gone and nobody's there. Half the people I grew up with are either dead or in jail, bro. And I mean, people talk about that shit all the time, but the thing is, it's like, that's real.
It's real. I would say
That's
it's real.
real. And it's because, you know, the people up top don't want to see you succeed. So you got to move silently. And that's why I say to all my people in my organization, you know, silence is the only true skeleton key. And if you know the skeleton key, it's a key that can open any door, any lock, anything that's in your way, you can open it. With silence, you can do that. You know what I mean? And I realized that from a very young age, subconsciously. And so I kept quiet. I did my things. I ain't graduate with a crazy GPA. It was okay. It wasn't great, but you know, I understood where I needed to be. And then I joined the Navy because I fell into the bullshit. I fell into the selling drugs and the doing dumb shit and the hanging with the out crowd and doing dumb shit with them. And, you know, all the shit you hear Future and Lil Baby and the Baby and all that rap about. J. Cole. I mean, J. Cole grew up fucking 35 minutes from me, man. So, I mean, I know what it's like. And I fell into that crowd and I realized to myself, I said, hey, either you sit here and you wallow in this moment where everything's bad, or you make a change for yourself. And the military did that for me. You know what I mean? So I took it and I took that opportunity. So
what was that like, having that conversation with like your family and your friends that you wanted to join the Navy?
It was rough. So it wasn't a lot of friends that I talked to. My friends were already off in college. I had already stayed back for a year and I was in high school, and my friends had already either went to college or they were in college or they had a good job, you know, that kind of shit. But I was still messing around with, you know, the trenches. And my mom, she was terrified. You know, everybody that goes in the military dies. They go off to war, they die. No, it's not how it is. You know what I mean? It's I got an intel job. I got very lucky. I'm smart enough to where I qualified for an intel job. So I explained that to her. She was very supportive. My dad, on the other hand, I'm not gonna put all his business out there, but he struggled for a very, very long time with his vices. And whenever I told him that, it broke his heart. And me and my father, we have a connection that I can't really explain to other people. You know how you have that one person, your confidant, your person you can trust. You know what I mean? That was that for me, even though he wasn't in the right mindscape, but he still was like, oh don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You know what I mean? But I still did it, and
Do
I
you think
don't
the
regret a
don't
single
do it?
thing.
Do you think he was saying like don't do it because he was more worried about like how things could turn out, or how just the picture of when you joined the military, like kind of like the freaking out how your mom was like, oh, you may die or something like
Well,
that.
no, you change. That's the thing that is concrete in the military.
Hmm.
Regardless of what branch you go into, the point of going to boot camp is to change you into what they want you to be, and that's okay for if you're trying to do a career aspect of it. But when you sit back and look and you take inventory of your life, there's things they change about you, and there's things they take away from your personality that maybe shouldn't be taken away, or maybe they should, or and that's what my father was most scared about. My mom was she has this idea that anybody that goes off the war, they die. I said, Mom, I'm not going off the war. I'm working special intelligence. It'll be a good gig. Everything will be okay. I'll learn a lot. And she kind of started understanding it, researched my job a little bit and understood what I was doing. My dad was more worried about the aspect of me losing who I am.
Gotcha.
Which gratefully for me, a lot of people that does happen to them. But for me, that did not happen. It did for a little bit, and that's going to happen to anybody whenever you go out on your own. You know what I mean? You lose a little bit of a sense of who you are, and you got to come back to that. That's part of adulthood and learning, and coping, and you know doing things for yourself. That is huge
Hmm.
in the aspect of, yes, I'm by myself. Yes, it's
Hmm.
brand new. No, I'm not really sure if the person I was before is the same person I am now, but you have to understand that there's a way that I saw it today. Actually, this is actually really funny that you bring it up.
Hmm.
It's like a branch. It's like a family tree branch, kind of sideways, and it shows at the first portion your path, and it's only one thing in green highlighted. You know what I mean? And then there's a line right down the middle, and it says your future. And it's the exact same dichotomy, the same breakdown of the family tree, the roots, and they're all green because you could take any route that you want. And once you realize that everything in the past is only giving you an understanding of what path you need to take in the future, that's when you kind of, understand that everything is going to work out. And, taking those experiences, taking that military experience, that trenches experience, part of what gives you the outlook, and you can you have a better motivation and sense of the future because you can say, okay, I can look at all these little starting points and see a little bit down the path, and which path do I want to take, that kind of thing. So
That's what's up, man. That's real talk, man. You're
yeah,
super wise, man. But one
for
thing you
25.
just, yeah, I know, right? But one thing that just stuck out to me when you said like when people go into the service, no matter which branch it is, and they
Yeah,
change, but then you said you was able to basically still stay the same. You did change, but you was able to not really fall into that completely different and more like because I mean we're both in North Carolina. You know how it is.
yeah,
Sometimes people come
it's
home.
grimy, bro. It's
It's
grimy. It's grimy. It is, and you
yeah,
can't discount that. You cannot discount the griminess of North Carolina as a whole,
definitely.
because I mean it's close. It's close to being. I mean, remember Durham back in the day? Durham
Oh
and Raleigh used to be the murder capital of the world.
yeah.
Not just the states, the world, bro. That it was
Hmm.
bad. Fayetteville was right behind them, number
Right about.
6. Like it was
Hmm.
close. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's so true,
grimy.
man. And I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how did you separate like compared to the crowd to basically not lose who you are? Like, what
I
do you
think
think?
that it's mostly because here's okay. This is going to be a big topic that everybody gets upset about, but it is what it is. I was
Yeah.
bullied my whole life, dog. I got big ass ears. They loved that shit. They used to fucking tear me apart because of it, right? So
Hmm.
I took that to heart, and there's bullying here and there, bullying here and there, and I think that bullying is what pushed me to the outskirts.
Hmm.
And then once I was already out there, I was like, man, I ain't got shit to lose. Let me just see what's going on. You know what I mean? Let me see just how everybody's moving, how everybody's doing things. And that's what I was saying earlier about how you have to. The biggest thing about life is listening. It's not
Definitely.
about what you do or how well you succeed. It's about what you learn and what you listen to, or whatever kind of learner you are. If it's visual, if it's hands on.
Hmm.
I'm a very visual and listening learner. That's just how I am. So when I would watch these people and watch how they act, I was like, man, I'm never gonna do some dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of separated myself. And I said, I watched other people make mistakes for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved in silence. And I said, nobody's got to worry about what I'm doing. Nobody's worried anyways, because nobody was really fucking with me like that. I have very, very good friends who were down with me from the start that I was on the swim team with. Like, politics didn't work out for baseball because of the stuff that my dad did and the last name associated with me and the third. I couldn't play baseball because they didn't want me there. And I wasn't great, but I was good enough to play for a motherfucking middle school or high school team. It's not that crazy. You know what I mean? You don't have to be that great. You just got to have a little bit of athletic prowess. But, and I said, you know what? I'm going to step outside of that and do something nobody else is doing. The swim team. Lee Senior got a swim team out of the blue, and we were swimming at the Nautica, the Nautilus gym, back on right across from the Central Carolina Hospital. And I made friends there who some of them weren't the outliers. Some of them were very popular people, but to me, they were my best friends and they were my outliers. You know what I mean? They were still my outliers with me because I didn't fit in. You know what I mean? You could take me to a party in high school, but I don't fit in, bro. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. And nowadays,
there's nothing wrong with that, man.
And that's okay. You know what I mean? I can't stress that enough to the kids out there that feel like that they're not good enough for the inner circle or feel like they're getting pushed out of. Bro, find your niche, because there's so many things that you can do that are not popular people shit or preppy people shit or whatever it is. Because, back when we were going to school, it was all like preppy kids and jocks. They were the cool people. That's not how it is anymore, bro. It's like, the outliers and the cool kids now, you know what I mean? They're the ones that are doing dances in the middle school, like, parking lot on TikTok. Those are the cool kids. And back in the day, they get the fucking dodgeball thrown at their head first, you know what I mean? But, like,
at least
the thing is, I'm glad to see the tables turning a little bit and putting that pressure on everybody and letting them understand that you don't have to be this, you don't have to be that. And I think that's what separated me from all of it, because I realized from a very young age, probably like 15 or 16, whenever I lost my virginity, I was like, yo, you don't have to be cool to get the ladies, you know what I mean? You gotta be you, and that works. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, it's all cool, you can do whatever you want and it's gonna be okay. And once I realized that, I was like, oh, the world's wide open. I can do literally anything I want. You know what I mean? And my mom said it growing up, but she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. But she was saying it, you can do anything you want. I better tell you no. But that's not fully wrong. You can, if you have the wherewithal to understand at a younger age, maybe before you're 20, 25, and you can say, I'm good enough. As soon as you say that, your brain opens up and you can learn a lot faster and you can deal with things a lot easier. You can cope a lot smarter. And I think I learned that at a very young age. I'm very grateful. I found my passion very early. Me and Bluer Futures is, I want to save the world, man. It's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? I just want to save the world just a little bit. So, it's like,
and I was actually going to talk about that. I was going to ask you, like, so you get out the military and now you're starting up Bluer Futures, but like, where did the backstory from Bluer Futures? Because don't get me wrong, I love what you're doing, man. I'm 100% behind it, but that's not what people think about when they're going to the beach. Like, oh, let me go clean up stuff for it. Like, what made you?
Trash used to be so taboo. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, picking up trash, you must be a janitor. You must be a garbage man. You know, that kind of thing.
You must be on parole or something and trying to
get right.
Yeah, like that's
very true. Very true.
That was the stigma of it. But
I changed my name on Instagram to I'm the Trash Man for a little while. Like that was it's the thing is, like, we can still be assholes. We can still live in excess. We can still drink water bottles every day. Lord knows I do. But here's the thing. It's about policing yourself and understanding where that trash is going. Because, I have younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 9 siblings.
Ooh,
so it's like, and they're no full siblings. You know what I mean? They're all like half siblings from different marriages, this, that, and the third or whatever. But I love them the exact same, because to me, they're still my siblings. That's how I was taught. Exactly. They're still my siblings. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's mom's DNA or dad's DNA. I don't give a fuck. But
Exactly.
when I was like 13, 14, we used to watch Finding Nemo,
Okay.
me and my little brother, right?
Shout out
About,
Fine Nemo.
right. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
a good movie right there.
Why are you following me? Why are you following me? Yeah. So like we would watch it every single day when this kid got home from daycare. And they a very big quote from that movie is all drains lead to the ocean. And the thing is they do.
Mhm.
And what you flush down your toilet, what you throw out, or throw out the side of your window on the highway, the wind blows it to the ocean. The ocean's the biggest part of the world.
Yep.
That's how, if nobody picks it up between there and the ocean, I don't care if you're in Kansas or you're on the coast. If nobody picks it up between there, it's going right in the ocean. And that's why we have multiple giant trash heaps floating around in the middle of the ocean.
Mhm.
And it's every second of the day, a sea turtle, a dolphin, your favorite animal, your sharks, your whales,
Mhm.
they're dying every second of the day because we're not policing this trash. And I found that out. You ask what the motivation is. It's the Netflix documentary Seaspiracy. And I have no
Oh,
respect for the man that made it. I'm going to say that right now, and I will say it to the day I die, because he comes up with nothing but problems. The whole movie. Watch the movie. If you haven't seen it,
I gotta
all he
check it
does is
out.
he pulls up problems. He says, they're killing dolphins here, they're killing whales here. Oh, we have giant trash heaps. Nobody's doing stuff about this. Nobody's doing stuff about that. And he just keeps addressing the fact that there are multiple problems, right? And he
Mhm.
does not give a single solution the entire movie. And at the end of the movie, he's like, well, we could do this, we could do that, but who really knows if we don't make a change? By 2048, the
Mhm.
ocean will be completely devoid of sea life, is what he says.
Mm.
And that's statistic facts. That's scientific proof. It's right there in front of us. I have a kid. I have another one due in September. So to me,
Congrats, man.
thank you. To me, I don't want my children and the next generation to grow up looking at a swamp when they go to the beach.
Yeah.
Because to me, going to the beach was, oh my God, we're going
It's
to the beach.
vacation.
We're going to the beach, bro. I grew up
Mhm.
in the farmlands of North Carolina. So we're going to the beach. We're going to be there for a week. Oh my God, it's going to be crazy. We're going to
That's
get
it.
down,
It's
bro.
vacation. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
It didn't
real.
matter how old you were. It was huge. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't want my kids to grow up and be like, oh, they're going to the beach. It's a swamp this year. That's this type of stuff I don't want to
Oh
have my
man.
kids deal with. So it lit a fire under my ass. And I was like, look, this man said all these problems, this, but didn't give a single solution. And then I started thinking, I started doing some research. I got into it very deep for about 3 or 4 days of just nothing but Googling, watching this, reading this, doing that.
Mhm.
And then April 8th of this year, actually, I just
Mhm.
was like, I told my wife, I said, hey, let's go out to the beach. Me, you, and my son, and I'm gonna pick up as much trash as I can. You know what I mean? And bro, it was nonstop. From the second we pulled into the parking lot, water bottles, cigarette butts, plastic bags, cookout trays, stuff like that. And I was like, man, it's
Mhm.
really bad. It's really bad. And the thing is,
And which
you
beach
don't
was
gotta
that
need
that
it.
you was at?
It
Was that
was
Myrtle?
East Ocean View in Norfolk.
Oh, okay.
Because I just got out of the Navy. My wife, unfortunately, we're getting divorced. Good for her. I'm happy for her. We're all cordial. Everything's fine. But we we realize that it's right here at your home, no matter where you're at. I
Mhm.
don't care if you're in the middle of the country landlocked. You walk in an alleyway in a major city and there's a trash tornado blowing up water bottles. You can see
Yep.
it. I don't care where you are. You can see it. And it's the thing that I try to preach to people is you don't have to be near a beach. You don't
Mhm.
have to be near a lake. You don't have to be near a source of water, because these plastics that we're discarding and not giving any attention to.
Mhm.
There's a woman in Kenya by the name of Nzambi Mati, and I'm going to say that one more time so that everybody can see it. Nzambi Mati, Nzambi, Mati, Matee. She's been taking plastics, putting them in a vat with sand,
Mhm.
heating it up to 700 degrees Fahrenheit and mixing it. And it basically turns it into a concrete paste. But when you die cast it and
Mhm.
press it, 7 times harder than concrete. Tell me why we can't make free infrastructure for the people that don't have homes, the kids that don't got schools, The rural places that don't have a hospital, we can build those for free out of these plastic bricks. I don't care where you are. Pick it up. Hit me up.
Amen.
I'll take it.
Amen.
I'll take it personally. I got you. You know what I mean? I'm going to buy a factory here very soon and get the die casting these plastics.
I cannot
And
wait, man. That's
I'm
what's
not
up.
asking for anything from anybody other than time and effort. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for your money. You know, if you want to give it, I'm more than happy to take it so that I can pay my board of directors or I can pay for gear and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
the thing is, you don't need anything other than time and effort to be a part of the movement. And the thing
Mhm.
is, the biggest thing that blows people's mind is I'm giving directly back to communities where the plastics are taken from. And by doing that, the way we do it is like, say, you know, a local artist, a man with
Mhm.
a podcast like yourself, a man
Yeah.
with a barber shop, or a man with a tattoo parlor, or a woman with, you know, art
Hair
studio,
salon
or
or art
whatever it
studio.
may
Yeah.
be, or hair salon, or a man with a hair salon or art studio. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who you are, or what you're doing. I can take your QR code and
Mhm.
slap it right on the back of a t-shirt. And then we give 100 t-shirts to volunteers for free when they come out. First 100 volunteers get a t-shirt. And then the news crews, the people that are out there watching us do stuff, they're going to
Mhm.
scan that QR code because they want to know what the fuck's going on. We're not putting any information behind it. You just scan the QR code and then boom, you're on that person's page.
Mhm.
Boom.
Look at you, man.
That's
Man,
all you got to do, man.
I
I'm
love the
trying to
vision, bro.
take care of the small community. You have to, the thing that I realized very young is you have to support local elements before you can try to promote change worldwide.
Amen.
And that goes for politics, that goes for family, that goes for anything you're trying to do. You have to be local and let the people around you in your communities know that you care, and then you can push it up the hill. And we're a bunch of fucking dung beetles, bro, because the people at the top don't care about us, man. We're just pushing shit
Exactly.
nonstop. They don't care about us. So we have to do that and show them at the top of the hill this giant pile of shit and be like, boom, y'all haven't been paying attention. What are we doing? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to
Yep.
do. I'm trying to create the movement. I'm trying to get the people behind it because the people are the ones benefiting from this, not me,
Yep.
not my board of directors, not the people that are volunteering. I mean, the people that are volunteering are going to feel better. I feel better at the end of every day when we do a mission, we do a, you know, cleanup or anything like that. But I'm not benefiting from it. It's the world, it's the communities, but it starts in the communities.
No, that's amazing, man. Just the insight of that and the passion that you have for bluer futures, and you talking about factories and wanting to take the plastic
Yeah.
bottles and turn them into you know structures for people. Like one thing I remember seeing your video where you were saying you want to make not just bricks, you want to do t-shirts and all this stuff. I mean,
It takes
bro,
10 plastic bottles to make a t-shirt album.
yeah, man. And when
That's it,
when
bro.
when I heard you
And a
say that,
family of
I actually.
four, that's done in a day.
Yeah, like I can go through four and like
An
I
hour and a
bet.
half.
Yeah, like
it's,
man, it's
it's easy
crazy.
peasy, bro.
So just like it's amazing. It amazes me that you think so big, but yet you're not. Some people we know like that will dream or think so big, but yet they just dream
But
their
they
big.
lose
But
sight of what's important, and it's right
yes,
there around you. That's the
exactly.
X factor. You know, they talk about the X factor. The
Hmm.
X factor is taking care of the people in your circle, your smallest circle first. And then you move outside, and then you move outside a little bit more. And it's everything in life is a circle, man. Look at the Lion King. It's a circle of life. You
Amen.
have to move slowly and take that spiral outwards. Right now, I'm at the beginning of it, man. I'm tight as can be on the coil, just
Hmm.
trying to take care of my people, trying to make sure that the message gets out there. June 26th, we got a partnership with the National Mall and the National Park Association. We're cleaning up the
So
George Mason National Monument in Washington, D.C., and it's going to be huge. I mean, people are going to see it. We're going to have
mhm.
t-shirts out there. People are going to know what we're doing. And that's what boosts it to move forward. The National Park Service, the entire National Park Service for the entire United States of America has our back. So, it's only a matter of time. And I realize that.
Mhm.
But the thing that I preach to all of my people every day is just take care of the communities that you are in. I don't care if you're in DC. I don't care if you're in Colorado. I don't care if you're in California. I don't care if you're in Japan. Take care of the community around you, because then us as a people, we make up the 99%. The 1% up top cannot stop us whenever there's a movement.
Definitely, man.
And you cannot start a movement without taking care of your communities.
Amen to that, man. That's so true. Because like that's, I was just talking to somebody about that, like how I'm appreciating all the love that I've been getting from the podcast and how it's been getting out there. And I said,
Yeah.
actually, I wanted to start really giving back. Like I give back to every person who's ever been on this show. I
You've done
support
it to
their
our
business.
organization, and you bought t-shirt, you bought a vest, the reflective vest for our company. So
anything, man.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Don't tell me you appreciate it. You're making a difference.
You're making a difference, man. I gotta get on your level, man. That's why, like, and
Nah,
I
you
love,
are already,
I,
man. The
I
outreach
love.
is the biggest thing.
True that, man. And I'm gonna push it as best as I can, man. And I actually can't wait. I'll have to request time off from work or even do podcast because I love to join you on some of these missions because I used to do
Yeah,
this stuff
man.
even back when I lived in Connecticut. Like I used to
Yeah.
me and my sister, man, we would go up, we would volunteer, do all this stuff, and I remember we used to run some assholes. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like we used to clean up the city and shit. People will drive by, hey, you forgot one, and throw some shit. Yeah,
Yep.
and like, we were like, what the hell? I remember like we'd be out there for hours and hours, but we felt so good by the end of the day. Our city's
But at
looking
the end of the
good.
day, when you crack that water bottle and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
oh man. You're like, oh, I earned it today. I earned my rest and relaxation. And that's where my passion lives. It lives in the fact that one day, you know, hopefully by whatever God is out there, whatever universal karma spectrum there is, I'll be able to do this every day. You know what I mean? I'll be able to go out there. I'll be able to go out in the middle of the ocean or the middle of a lake or the middle of a community and pick up trash every fucking day. And that's what drives me to make a difference and to treat my people right and to move forward and to take care of these communities. Because if I don't take care of the communities that we're trying to work in, I can't expect them to support me and take care of me. I can't just go out and be like, oh, we got a National Park Service partnership. So now, we're just doing whatever and, big events only and we're selling merchandise. And, I can't do that morally because it still has to be local. I focus so hard on local because I grow up in a small town. I know what it means to struggle and to hurt and to see nothing but filth in your area. And I don't want that for people. You know what I mean? I want them to have a clean community. And then once the community's clean, I'm building a fucking community center out of plastics. And they all get to go and party there and play basketball on a plastic turf that costs fucking 65 water bottles to build. Like, it's so easy, bro. The answer is right in front of us.
Bro, man, I can't wait, man, because bro,
it's going to
you
take
got
time, but it's going to be beautiful.
It is going to be beautiful, man. But the one thing I really admire about you, it's going to take time. It's going to, take a lot of patience. But yet, that's not driving you away, man. So
The
like,
thing is, man, here's the thing that I tell people every time, right? And it's something that I found when I found my patients. You know how people say, take it easy or take your time or be safe or, whenever you're leaving. You know what I mean? People like that. What I say is, it's your time. Take it. Because time isn't anything other than what we made up, right? We as people made up time. So your idea of time is what time is because it's only a human construct. So when I say to people, it's your time, take it. I mean it because regardless of how long it takes you, I don't care if you go 165 down the highway, bro. It's your time. Take it. Take what you owe. You are owed. You are owed your time. All we have is time. There's no currency at the end of the day.
Yep.
You lay in that grave, it's time that got you there. It's not money.
Man, dude, you dropping bombs today, man. Like, shoot.
Hey, I got to. Charlamagne, go ahead and hit that bomb for me.
Right.
Knowledge bomb.
Bro, you've dropped so many damn quotes, and that's like one of my thing I love asking people. But like, you've dropped so many for us, like just things to live by. But like,
hey, cut it out.
What was your favorite quote or favorite saying that you lean on during the good times or the bad times, bro?
Okay, so this is my great grandfather, right? Billy Norris. He owned a flooring company. He was nothing more than a hardworking man. He was never more than that. He was never less than that. And he let everybody know that with his actions. But he told my father, and my father told me, um, you know, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, and you might be close to the truth. And that resonates with me because people can say stuff all day, but you never really know. And what you see, you can only take at face value. You can only take that situation, or if it's a fist fight, if it's a organizational event, or if it's a major catastrophe, you can only take it at face value. You only know half of the story, and that's the half that you see. You don't see the stories behind it, the struggle, the pain, the happiness, the sadness, all that. You don't see it, but you do see face value. So believe none of what you hear, half of what you see, and you might be close to the truth. He told me all the time. My dad's told me that all the time. Even in his hardest days, even in my hardest days, he's told me that. And another one really quick is if every time you try to express your feelings to someone, it feels like an argument, they're not worth your time.
Bombs.
There it is.
Bro,
there it is.
Like that's some good stuff right there.
That person is not worth your time, man. It's not worth your time. If you feel like every time you try to express yourself or share your dreams or aspirations with somebody and it turns into an argument, that person is not worth your time, man. And the faster you understand that, the faster you can build a strong inner circle that's going to support you nonstop.
Amen. Bro, I appreciate your time that you're giving me. This is
listen,
a great
man,
interview, man.
I'm here always. We can do these interviews anytime, man. We can do them every 10 episodes. We can do them every 30. I don't care, bro. I'm here with it. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing, man. Bluer Futures supports you fully, and I know you support Bluer Futures fully. So, the relationship will build. Me and you've been talking for quite some time now. So this has been a very long time coming, this interview. I have a lot of stuff in my personal life that I'm dealing with, but in the future, I'll be able to make more time, and, you can only, it's your time, take it. So,
There you go again. Before we head out, bro, is there anybody that you want to shout out, and also where people could find you in Bluer Futures?
So Bluer Futures is Bluer Futures official on Instagram. Everywhere else, it's just at Bluer Futures. The people I want to shout out are the people who have not stopped believing in me, even when I've had a huge change of pace, a huge explosion of new ideas and movements. I mean, I went to Maryland, now I'm in Texas, I'm going back to North Carolina. The people that continue to support me, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, my stepmom, my son, man. I mean, my sons come September. That's the reason why I have this fire and this passion. I want to shout them out. All the people from North Carolina that are independent artists. Collin Arnold, he's making music. It's good music. It's a little bit more of the emo rap type shit. If you're into that, hit him up. Lisi God, I think he goes by on SoundCloud. Knowledge Fox. He goes by ASAP Nolly or Big Up. You can find his music on Spotify, on YouTube, on stuff like that. Montel, I call him Montel, but his name is Euro Yams. I mean, he makes music too. Music is a huge inspiration in my life. Mac Miller saved my life multiple times.
Bro, Mac Miller.
Yeah,
man. He's a big fan when he used to share a couple of his things. That, and rest in peace to one of my best friends, Jocko,
the same
bro.
tattoo on my neck.
It. Yeah, I noticed, man. That shit's nice.
Yeah,
bro.
Memento Mori behind it to say "Remember the Dead."
Yeah.
The biggest shout out I want to give, though, end of my spiel, is all the people that are gone. But here's the thing: another good quotable moment for you.
Sure.
The only people who are truly gone and not here anymore are the people we don't remember. So remember those people, love them, cherish those memories they gave you, and they'll live on forever. That's the biggest thing. And every second on this earth can be heaven if you let it be. So,
That's
Easy peasy, bro.
you're killing it, man. You are
Easy
killing it,
peasy, bro.
bro.
Easy peasy. I got it all day. I got
You
it all
do,
day.
man. And
I
shout
got
out
it all day.
to Mac Miller, man. And that's one
Oh,
I just love what you just said because like his memory, like every time I think of 2010, 2011, when I first like really discovered his music, those were some happy time. Personal
yeah.
life was kind of hell, but like me and rest in peace, one of my good friends, Jocko, we used to listen to
Rest in
his
peace to
music.
Jocko, bro. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, man, that was hard.
He's still here though, because you're still remembering him right this second.
Exactly, man. And we used to listen to Mac Miller every single damn day, bro. Like
Yeah, bro.
she put me on to him. I became a big fan, bro. She had remember that blue T-shirt he had when he
Yep.
first was like coming. Bro, I
Yep.
still want that shirt. I said,
Yep.
bro, Jocko, I'm gonna lose some weight. You gonna give me that shirt, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo,
Hey, look, if you ever need any merchandise, I know everywhere to get it because I'm a fanatic, bro. I got the same tattoo he had on his neck of the lotus flower, and then above it says Memento Mori above and below. But it's something that got me out of very dark and troubled times, and I hope that it continues to do it for people for generations to come because the music that he makes, and you can attest to this, every time he's going in, you can feel his soul, and it's so
definitely.
pure and it's so happy, regardless of whether he's talking about doing drugs or having sex or actual intellectual shit that he very more often raps about.
Hmm.
You can feel the goodness in it. You know what I mean? And it makes everything feel just a little bit less sad, and I can appreciate that. So
Definitely, man. He was ahead of his time. He was true legend, man. We lost him too
oh,
soon.
but
I'm just
the good
glad I
news
finally got
is
to talk about him on the
next month,
show.
next
What's
month,
up?
his drug dealers are going to fucking arraignment. So
Okay.
the people that were lacing his drugs with other drugs to try to kill him, which
Hmm.
eventually ended up happening. Three of his drug dealers. I know it's not good to do drugs. I'm going to say this right off the bat. Don't do drugs, bro.
Definitely.
I don't. I try to be good. I try to do the right thing. But if you have your vices, you have your vices. But just know where it's coming from. And he thought he knew it was coming from. And he's one of the richest, most influential people on the planet at the time. So
Hmm.
you never really do know. Just be smart, you know what I mean? And just get out of it, man. You can. There's so many treatment opportunities to get out. It's very easy to do it. And the only thing that I stress to people is just know what you're doing, do it safely. There's so many programs to make sure you're either doing it safely or getting off of it. So don't discount yourself and catch that dirty needle or catch that lace cocaine or catch that LSD you thought was LSD, but it's just a bunch of shit from underneath the kitchen cabinet that kills you. Don't do that to yourself because everybody has worth and everybody has a soul, regardless of whether you want to acknowledge it or not, whether it's God or whether it's the universe. There's a soul in everybody, man. So just make sure y'all are taking care of your soul more than anything.
Bro, that's 100%, man. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely, man.
thankful,
I'm here
bro. This
anytime, Alvin, bro. I'm here
Bro,
anytime, man.
I can't wait for the future of Blue Futures. Even the present is looking bright, man. I'm gonna continue to
It's
support
not
it,
just the
bro.
future of Bluer Futures, man. It's gonna be Bluer Futures for everybody, man. That's the reason I named it what it is because we can make a bluer future for everyone. And blue's not a bad thing, man. 70% of this planet is blue. So
Amen.
take it and run with it. You know what I
So
mean?
those
And I'm gonna run
hundreds,
with it, man. And I'm not gonna stop running, man. I'll
definitely.
give one song to everybody to listen to. Um,
Yes.
Actually, two songs. One is, and I know it's a huge song for everybody. A lot of people have already heard it, but it's "The Bigger Picture" by Lil Baby.
Okay.
Um, he lets everybody know what's up, and there's a lot of strife that shouldn't be happening in the Black community that is, and 95% of my friends are fucking Black, so I can't discount the Black community that raised me. And then "Land of the Free" by Joey Badass.
Okay. Hey, shout out.
If people will just listen to those two songs, man, you'll get a little bit more perspective on where America is as a whole and understand that we as a people have to start making these movements for ourselves because nobody else is going to do it for us.
Definitely, man. Hey, thank you again, brother. You have a great one, and thank you for being on the show.
Yeah,
Episode
man.
30, so
Yes,
really
sir.
putting them out
30,
there,
baby.
brother.
Big 30. Big 30. 30 is the new 20, baby. We're going to be
Hey.
out here. I'm going to be out here every day. So y'all can hit me up on any of the Bluer Futures accounts. You can hit me up. I'll give you my
put that in
business
the
card.
video.
I'll put my, look, right quick. Don't bleep this out. 757-759-1177. If anybody has a problem with what I said, has a question about what I said, has an inkling of wanting to do good for Bluer Futures or wants to get involved, that is my personal phone number, man. Hit me up. I love y'all. I hope that everything goes well with everybody, and I pray every day that it does. But until then, I'm just going to be out here grinding and trying to make a Bluer future for everybody.
Man, that's perfect, bro. You're a natural,
yeah,
man.
Personal phone number, bro. If I can't give you my personal line, man, I can't trust the community. If I can't trust the community with my phone number, I can't trust them to back me. So, hit me up, man. I'm here. Definitely. And I'm always my line's blown up all the time, but I'm always right there. So,
Amen to that, man. Thank you again, brother. Shout out to Bluer Futures, everyone behind Bluer Futures.
Hey, Andrew, big shout out to Alvin Peoples, bro. Shout out to Alvin Peoples for doing this fucking podcast, bro. Not taking no for an answer and just doing what he cares about and having the people on that are making a difference, man. People are going to take notice very soon. I can feel it in my heart. And whenever you got fucking 600,000 people listening to it every day, you don't forget where Bluer Futures is at. I'll be right there with you, homie.
Bro, I'm gonna say you're gonna be right there with me, man.
Yeah, I got you, dog. I got you.
You take care, brother, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, man. Take it easy.